thanks to our generous patrons, we are now recording an episode that I did not know about, covering Yorshka and Yhorm, the two best characters from Dark Souls 3.
How hype are you, Richie?
Well, I feel like I'm just resigned to my fate at this point. I knew something like this was coming as soon as you said it's a surprise. I feel like it's like those angry gamer channels where it's like, oh, if you donate, you can make me play a shitty game for an hour. Only this is like, if you donate, I will get someone else to waste his time explaining something that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this is, explaining Yorshka and Yhorm is like the Action 52 of Dark Souls 3, I think, lore.
What's that?
Action 52 is a notoriously unplayable NES game. So a lot of things are like, oh, if you donate to this level, like, I'll play Action 52 for 2 hours, or something like that.
We should play it.
It's been done.
Has it been done by us?
Go on. It's pre-Yeltsin.
Pre-Yeltsin? Are you saying we need to start another podcast? Gaming in the pre-Yeltsin years?
Okay, I think we need to settle this thing about the podcast, because really, it's one podcast, but you have different names for it based on the era in which the game came out, but the podcast itself is identical regardless.
No, it's not identical. The intro music is completely different. Okay, Richie, so can you tell us about the story of Yorshka and Yhorm and how they are intertwined?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
they are both adjacent to Irithyll Dungeon.
Oh, that is a good point.
Because if you look at Yorshka has like an armor set that you can't get it in game, but it exists in the files and it works and it has a description.
Mm-hmm.
And it says on the set that this is a white. This started off as a white, very, very pristine white dress, and it's turned grey because she was locked in a cell. And of course, when we meet Yorshka in the game, she's not locked in a cell; she's in a tower.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe she was in Irithyll Dungeon at one point, and you had to rescue her, because that would explain her being in a cell. Because the other Yorshka thing we know is that at one point there were two Yorshkas, and
Yeah.
they were in the Cathedral of the Deep. So
Right.
I think what Yorshka and Yhorm have in common is that they suffered massively from the musical chairs that all these characters were forced into through the development of Dark Souls 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they have in common.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't really tell us their story. Did you think I would forget my own question?
You have before. So
Okay,
the story.
how about...
Okay.
Yeah, go
Who
on.
am I starting with?
No, it has to be like, because we have discussed Yorshka before.
Right.
And we have discussed Yhorm before.
Okay.
So now, you have to like discuss them at the same time.
Well, can't we just get like me discussing Yorshka and me discussing Yhorm and play them over each other? It's like a horrible, unlistenable mess.
Richie, people paid for your suffering.
Okay, so when Pontiff Sullivan took over Anor Londo, he locked up Yorshka in a tower, and then under the tower, right, there's all those dead giants.
Uh-huh.
And Yhorm's also a giant.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a different kind of giant.
Okay.
One thing is that, like, there's this sort of, it's in there but not very explicit that the gods in Dark Souls kind of enslaved the giants. And we're not sure if, like, they were forcibly, like, conquered and enslaved, or they just kind of worked for the gods in the same way that the snake people seem to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing, like, Yhorm is a descendant of the slaves of the gods, of whom Yorshka is a member.
Oh, I see.
So also their names have similar letters in them. So
Oh yeah, somebody on Discord, I forgot who.
was it Miyazaki?
I'm sorry. Was like, oh, so this is a Yhormshka episode?
Yhormshka.
Oh. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, like Brangelina or whatever?
I don't think they'd be a very good couple, though.
Why not?
Okay, I don't think anyone should be in a couple with Yorshka. I think, just for her own good, she probably shouldn't interact with other people. Also, she's got a lot of commitments as both the leader of and only member of the Dark Moon Blade Covenant.
Well, you can become a second member. You can maybe help her out with some responsibilities.
It doesn't work, though. So I ended up killing Silver Knights for an entire long weekend, because they just... I couldn't get any invasions. Do you think that's actually her fault? She just doesn't know how to run the Covenant properly. That's why the summon range doesn't work. There's just, like, some settings on the computer that runs. She's just like, they're all wrong. She doesn't know how to fix it.
Yeah, well, Richie, that's what I meant. Like, you could become the second member of the Covenant, and then you'll be like, Yorshka, I know you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
Let me help you. So you take some responsibilities off her plate, and you do the things that she's clearly incapable of doing. So, like that setting on the computer, you go and you try to figure it out, you know?
Well, about 10 years ago, I used to work as the archivist in a radio station. And that had 3 computers in it, and they all only did one thing. And in order to remind us which was which, they had name tags. And they were called Adam the admin, Peter the printer, and Ian the internet. I imagine the Dark Moon Blades are run similarly under Yorshka.
What other responsibilities do you think Yorshka has?
Something that involves not knowing what a bird is.
But you know what? Maybe she's under so much stress because she's like alone, taking care of everything. She's just saying things that don't make sense, but it's just stress induced.
But what is she taking care of if there's no actual covenant?
Well, maybe she has to like send out emails to recruit people to the Covenant and like reply to those emails. And if somebody calls about questions, like maybe she's the only one who answers, and maybe she has to organize meetings. And maybe she's doing like, you know, HR duties at the same time. And maybe she's running their website too. Maybe there's just a lot going on behind the
Another
scenes.
thing that the radio station did was that normally if you're arranging things alphabetically and they start with the, you just go off like the actual word, and then at the end you put comma the, right?
Yeah.
They didn't do that. So the T section of the archive took up like a quarter of it. They also didn't know how... They kept all their info in an Excel table, and they didn't know how to arrange it alphabetically.
Oh my god.
So you had to manually figure out where it was supposed to go. And the problem is, like, I sort of wanted to say, like, do you want me to just, like, redo this for you? Because I could probably do it in an afternoon. But then there was this other person who worked with me, who was about, like, 70, and had been doing it his whole life, and that was the only way he knew how to do it. So I just had to be like, okay, we'll do it your way, because I don't want to have to, like, redo all this stuff for you and then explain it to you. Yeah.
Maybe you should have.
Maybe.
Yeah. With that attitude, Richie, I don't know if you'd qualify as Yorshka's personal assistant.
Well, she doesn't seem to know very much about the outside world. So she may not actually know what the Blades of the Dark Moon do.
Okay, maybe because listen, it was her first day. It was training, and then Gwendolyn gets eaten by a blob. And she's like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" Have you thought of that?
Didn't Pontius Sullivan lock her in the tower?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, that's also like her first day, her boss gets eaten and she gets locked in the tower, but she still has this title, and she's like, "Oh crap, I gotta figure this out." So she's doing her best.
Yeah, you can say that about a lot of characters in Dark Souls 3. It's just like they're doing their best. Yhorm doing his best.
Yeah, because Yhorm, I mean, the whole situation with Yhorm was pretty convoluted because he probably didn't have a really good personal assistant either. Maybe Yorshka used to be his personal assistant. So when he was like, "Could you do some research on how to put out the profaned flame?" She's like, "Oh yeah, just link the first flame. Just become Lord of Cinder, it's gonna be fine."
Can you do research on how I can get in and out of my own throne room? I was thinking, like, he probably could, but he'd have to lie on his side and, like, go sideways and sort of, like, pull himself through it. And maybe that's why he doesn't want to go back to filing. Because it's just, it's embarrassing.
But you know what? Maybe that was also a thing where if Yorshka's his personal assistant, he's like, "Hey, could you build a door for me that's big enough for me to go into the throne room?"
Hang on. Also, the only way he would be able to get there would be to go through Irithyll Dungeon. Which he clearly couldn't fit through.
What if... Okay, Richie, I have an idea.
Do you think he has to, like, scale the cliff face like it's Uncharted or something?
No, what if Yhorm never linked the first flame? What if he didn't even leave the throne room? He was kind of stuck there throughout the developments of, like, Lothric and all that. And then people were like, "Oh, great Yhorm, the great giant, this and that," but he didn't do any of those things. But it's been so long, people were talking about it, he didn't correct them at first. Correcting people now would be embarrassing, so he kind of just rolls with it.
Do you think it's because, like, to them, like, all giants look the same, so they assumed it had been Yhorm, and it was actually it was actually the giant who's in Irithyll Dungeon?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That would make sense.
Good.
Hmm.
There's just the silence settles over the podcast. As I think you are now realizing that this very funny joke you came up with has real-world consequences.
What are the real-world consequences?
The real consequences are we actually have to record a podcast about Yorshka and Yhorm.
Okay. So, did Yorshka and Yhorm know each other?
It's possible they did know each other because it looks like the gods were still working with the giants. That's not as stupid a question as you think it is, because it's possible that, like, you know, the gods and the giants work together. They have the giant blacksmith, there's the giants defending Anor Londo, there's the giants in Sen's fortress. So probably, like, if Yhorm is the same kind of giant, and then again that is confusing because Yhorm looks like a different... He looks like a Dark Souls 2 giant. He doesn't look like a Dark Souls 1 giant. So, like, if the gods were on friendly terms with the giants, then probably, like, maybe Yorshka did know Yhorm.
Do you think they ever dated?
I hope not.
Okay, because I'm thinking, you know, sometimes couples get matching tattoos?
Right.
What if Yorshka and Yhorm got matching names?
It's like his and hers. It's like ancient Anor Londo dialect or something. They just have, like, matching towels with Yorshka and Yhorm on it.
They're the only two characters that have, like, Yor in their name, you know? Right?
There's Yorg.
Who's Yorg?
He's in Dark Souls 2.
Well, maybe Yorg is Yorshka's ex-boyfriend.
Yorg did hunt dragons.
Hmm.
So he would have been on the side of, like, the Oh, actually, and Yorg, like, they were underground.
Oh.
So if Yorshka had been underground, she wouldn't know what a bird was.
Uh-huh.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. It's all coming together.
God.
You know how, like, let's say you you have a puzzle and you like lay it out on the floor and it's like a really, really like huge puzzle with tiny pieces, and then you're trying to put it together and you're looking at the picture, like the picture that it's supposed to come out as.
Yeah.
And then eventually you realize that the picture is wrong.
Yep.
You're just using the wrong puzzle. It was in the wrong box. That's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, only this is like entirely your fault. This is like if you got two completely different puzzles, tipped them out on top of each other so you couldn't sort the pieces out, and went, well, I don't know what to do.
You do it.
Yes. That's what this is.
Yeah, well, you're doing a great job. I'm thinking we only need to record for an hour to get enough material, and we're at 24 minutes.
How much of that is awkward silence, though?
Yeah.
We can talk about, like, I don't know, there's like an earlier design of Irithyll where it looks like they connected differently, and you would have been able to go directly from Yhorm to Yorshka.
Okay, this is perfect. So actually, my stupid idea is more intelligent than we initially thought.
Maybe.
Okay, go on.
Well, this is like a thing that I found through talking to Lance, because he hasn't shown this off yet, because he can't quite get it working. And, like, again, like, I'm not... He's fine with me talking about this stuff. He's just like, here's a thing I found, I don't know, I'll see if I can get it working later on. So...
Cool. Also, nobody watches this, so...
That's true, yeah. People would come here after Lance, because Lance would recommend this, and people are like, what if... do you think Lance loses subscribers when he recommends us?
Oh, definitely.
Because they're like, what the fuck is this? If you want to learn more about Maria, go to the Sinclair Law channel. You go there, and it's like it's the sound of you eating and me crying.
You know how I know when I know somebody's... Because I read the comments, right? So first I can recognize like new names, and then I know someone is new if they're like, oh my god, you're eating on a podcast that's so unprofessional, or oh my god, poor Richie. So I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, you guys are new.
Yeah.
Also, oh my god, why are you laughing so much?
Well,
I get scolded for that one too.
It's not honest, warm laughter, it's the hysterical state that you end up in attempting to understand a world that just doesn't make sense. It's a despairing, hollow laugh. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go on.
It looks like we have like an older version of the Irithyll and Orlando area now. And you know the like sewer part with the centipede women in it?
Yeah.
That's moved somewhere else. Like that was just a wall. And you would have been able to, like, that has a path leading down further into it, rather than you coming through that gate thing. So it looks like you would have come out of somewhere, like down below, and then come up through the sewer, and then entered Anolondo that way, rather than going through the waterway. And we're wondering if, like, maybe that, like, you started in where the profane capital was, and then you went up out of the dungeon, and then you popped out in the sewer area. Because, okay, I guess this is no longer about Yhorm or Yorshka or whatever. You know how there's...
It's still about Yhorm and Yorshka.
It's about whatever we want it to be. You know how there's the bonfire before Irithyll Dungeon is called Distant Manor, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, probably thinking this isn't much of a manor. This is just like a square room with a brick texture applied quite hastily.
Yeah.
So the way that as we understand it, you know the area where like there's Sigvard and then you go up and there's like the painting of Guinevere and the Silver Knights. That was the manor, and that was on that side of Anor Londo. So that's why that bonfire is called that, because you would have come up through maybe Irithyll Dungeon, popped out there, and then gone into that manor. And that would have been on the side of Anor Londo / Irithyll. And that's why that bonfire is called Distant Manor, because the manor was originally there. And then you would be able to, would have a door on the other side, and that door led to this like little grassy path that just went straight to Sullivan, rather than the setup it has now. And like you can, it's kind of interesting to look at because they deleted the path, but they didn't delete the grass asset. So if you look at it, you can't see a path, but you can see the grass around the path, sort of leading off into the distance, and you can follow where it would have gone. So that's the one piece of information that people may not have heard before on this podcast. So I guess it's back to Yhorshka and Yhorm now.
So one good thing came out of the podcast. Yes.
Yeah, that's
okay. Cool.
Little Easter egg. There is like a really significant Dark Souls 3 cut thing, but I don't know enough about it yet to talk about. It's not Yorshka or Yhorm related.
Can you give us a sneak peek?
Well, it's not like, oh, give us a sneak peek. Like, I don't really know. But,
well, you just mentioned it, so you know something.
Yeah. Okay, so, you know, there's, like, the big bridge in front of Lothric, right? Like, it's where the gargoyles take you at the start. And the assumption is, oh, that bridge is just, like, it's just the bridge at the front of Lothric and it's fallen down. So you can't use it to get in or out of the castle. It looks very much like that wasn't like that originally. It wasn't a bridge to Lothric, it was a bridge to an area that was off to like the side of Lothric. And you would be able to go all the way from one end of that bridge to the other. And that would have led to like a completely removed area. That's like wasn't ever repurposed. It wasn't just like a little thing they cut out. It was like a whole like area with bosses and enemies and everything. That they just like deleted entirely. But like yeah, so we've been trying to like he's found stuff and like I've like been going around kind of reverse engineering its coordinates and finding old maps and stuff that like point out where it used to be. So like I don't know how much is going to be dug up or how much can be restored, but like it does have a pretty significant cut area. Similar in scope to the way that Demon Souls is missing the Northern Limit Archstone. So it's not just like, oh, there was some extra rooms. It's like, this was a whole real deal area, like the size of like, you know, a Dark Souls 3 area, like a big deal place was just gone. So I don't know, like, yeah, how much is going to be dug up. And that's, yeah, I'm sort of helping him out a bit with that. He's obviously doing like 90% of it, but I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll check that out in the game and like, did a lot of bridge chasing.
Cool.
Anyway, back to Yorshka and Yhorm.
Yeah, back to the important stuff.
The important stuff.
Woo, okay.
Okay.
You hyped?
I'm as excited as I've ever been about Yorshka and Yhorm.
Okay.
Do you know why I'm excited?
Why?
Because you can't do this to me again, because we've already hit this tier. This goal. We've hit the goal, so...
Do you want to know what the next goal is?
You'll just invent one.
No, it's already invented.
Do I get a say in this, even though it's about me?
No.
Okay. What is the next goal?
Okay.
Okay.
I will screenshot it to you.
Is it going to be Yorshka, Yhorm, and Sullivan?
Well, you know what? I didn't think about it, but now we're gonna have a Yorshka, Yhorm, and Sullivan goal in a while.
Okay.
But this is the next thing.
Oh, Soul of Cinder. Yeah. No, I Honestly, I think there's more to say about Soul of Cinder than Yorshka
Oh,
and
yeah?
Yhorm. Yeah.
So can I change it to Soul of Cinder, Yorshka, and Yhorm? You sounded a little too happy there.
I think you need to be a bit more creative. Like, surely there's other things that would annoy me more that you could throw in there.
Like what?
Oh, just some like random fucking NP. Like, I don't know. The Abyss Dragon.
The Abyss Dragon?
Yeah,
What's that again?
exactly.
Okay, well, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna put an Abyss Dragon in there somewhere.
I really hope I saved my Abyss Dragon fan art. Because I drew some when Ashes of Ariandel came out, and I think it's only on my Facebook page, which I just deleted. I might be able to find it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to Yorshka and Yhorm.
Back to Yorshka and Yhorm.
Do you think there's an interesting piece of I've forgotten what the word is because it's tiring.
Lore?
No. Like the way that they mirror each other, because one is up very, very high and one is down very, very low. Do you think that says something about them?
Oh my god, yeah.
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 But the thing is, like, Yorshka's not... she's up pretty high, but not that high. And Yhorm is down pretty low, but not that low. So do you think it's just like they're just kind of mediocre?
You know what? I think, yeah. I think so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that could be it.
Yep.
What's lower than Yhorm? Karthus?
Yeah.
And what's higher than Yorshka?
And Orlando and Archdragon Peak.
So Yhorm is like not quite Karthus, and Yorshka is like not quite Orlando.
Yhorm was in Karthus originally.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was the boss of Karthus at one point. Because the bonfire there is still tagged with his name.
What do you think he would do there?
I imagine it would be very similar to the fight that we have now, but in a different room.
Would it be in the room with the goblet?
No, it's probably in a completely deleted room because he's so huge that he wouldn't have been able to fit in any of the other ones.
But he could... I'm trying to remember the room with the goblet. It's pretty huge.
But it's not big enough to fight Yhorm in, unless they shrunk him.
Huh.
Like, it's possible that he did start off, like, fractionally smaller and they just scaled him up.
Okay, what if once you enter the room, you see Yhorm, but he's all like, you know, his head is down, he's like squeezed together, like in an uncomfortable position, trying to fit in the room?
I just had a thought.
Yeah?
He'd be kind of like Old Hero in Demon Souls, because he has, like, a similar kind of weapon.
I told you that before. I told you, it's not your thought, it's my thought.
Okay.
I told you that. I told you he would be like the Old Hero on a podcast, and I told you, and it shows that you never listened to me, because I was like, it has pillars and all that, and... You didn't seem very impressed then, but all of a sudden, now that you think you came up with it, it's like, oh, exclamation point!
Well, like, if Yhorm had been in Karthus, he would have been guarding Yorshka.
Oh. Kinda like Legarius guards Annalise.
I think we're through the looking glass. Okay, here's another thing they have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Yhorm is defeated with Storm Ruler, because that controls the wind. And when you meet Yorshka, she says, "Are you creature of the air?"
Oh.
Yeah. Think about it.
If you have two storm rulers and you use them like wings, like in your hand, you just like flap it up and down.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's two. You're supposed to do that, and that activates a secret dialogue from Yorshka.
Do you think that when it says, like, Yhorm left Storm Ruler with the trusted friend, he left it with Yorshka, and then Sigvard stole it from her? because she's so fucking useless.
Well, I've told you my problems with Sigurd in the past, actually.
Mm-hmm.
How your friend is in peril and you
Yeah.
murder him instead
Yeah.
of just like talking it out.
Okay, I've got it. What if, right? Yhorm is one of the giants from Anor Londo. And he had a thing for Yorshka.
Uh-huh.
And he thought, no, I can't. I'm not strong enough to impress her. I've got to go and get big. I've got to do my gains. So he goes down and he starts working out and he gets huge. Oh shit, he can't fit through the door now. And he just gets so depressed. And that's what fuels him.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He was destroyed by his own gains. It's ironic.
He played himself.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hmm.
Mm. Here's another Yhorshka Yhorm connection, right?
Okay.
Yhorshka starts off in the Cathedral of the Deep for some reason. And that's got giants in it.
Yeah.
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 Maybe, like, they were both in love at the Cathedral of the Deep, in, like, the Alpha. And then
Yeah.
they both went off. And now they're just separated and they can't see each other anymore. And it's tragic.
Oh my god, okay. Okay, Richie.
Yeah,
So what if Yorshka was like a priestess or whatever?
both of her, yeah. One's a decoy Yhorshka created by Pontiff Sullivan.
So Yorshka was in the Cathedral of the Deep, right? And
Yep.
she fell in love with Yhorm, who was a slave.
Yep.
And so
Yeah, and it's like royalty and a slave. They can't be together.
exactly, and then they ran away together, but before they could like be together forever, she ends up in a tower, he ends up underground.
Yep. And he's like, by the way, if you ever need to kill me, here's the sword.
Aww.
Oh, how about, right, it was all, he was playing us, because he's like, I'll give Stormruler to Yorshka, because she's so useless she can't use it.
Uh-huh.
So I'll leave the one thing that can kill me with the only person who is incompetent enough to never actually use it on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wheels within wheels. It's just more of Dark Souls 3's 8-dimensional chess.
What a fun conversation we just had with Richard.
It was a bit one-sided. It was very loud. Find out more at patreon.com/SinclairLaw. I'm wondering if, like, all these video game, like, Let's Play groups and podcasts and things that end up collapsing and falling out and everyone hates each other, do you think they could have dealt with that better by just releasing all the screaming on Patreon?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's how we deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's just nothing hidden from anyone. It's all out in the open.
So yeah, Yorshka and Yhorm.
Yep.
So okay, so we're at 50 minutes, 17 seconds, but we need at least an hour.
And also, a lot of this isn't about Yorshka and Yhorm at all.
It's fine. I'm taking into consideration the stuff that's gonna get cut and gonna go on Patreon.
Right.
Like, I need at least an hour of overall material. You know?
Good.
So talk for 10 more minutes.
No, we can go for however long I think about Yorshka and Yhorm.
Okay, go.
Yeah, okay. So, another thing that I'm just making this up as I go along. Well, maybe it's like that they're so unalike that they loop around and become the same at the end. Actually, maybe, like, they would be a good couple because they're opposites, so they'd complement each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Sigward was trying to break them up? And it's all his fault.
You know how there are these friends who can't accept that their friend has a girlfriend?
Yep.
So maybe that was the situation.
Lawrence.
Oh yeah, Lawrence?
Because he can't accept that Yharnam's going out with Erden. I feel like he really wants to commune with the Great Ones, and he sees that, like, hang on a minute, like, they're all into this, like, goth chick.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, what am I, chopped liver? Like, I put in a lot of effort to get you to notice me.
Yeah. It's kind of like in Dishonored. Sokolov puts a lot of effort to get the outsider to notice him, but the outsider is like, well, I don't really care about Sokolov. If he wants me to notice him, he's gotta be a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
You never played Dishonored, have you?
No.
You filthy casual!
That's why when you did a series of Dishonored podcasts, I wasn't on them. Because I didn't have anything to say.
Well, Nick and I are going to record. We have one or two left to record about the general main game synopsis.
Okay.
Because we have to discuss Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider. And
Right.
after that, we can go into details in each game. That's when you can come on, because we might look at like different references, like this character. What is he based on, like in mythology, for example, or in real life?
Maybe.
So you don't actually have to know the game to
Okay,
participate,
we'll
Richie.
see.
You just have to be a team player.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What kind of wedding would Yhorm and Yorshka have?
Would they get married at the Church of Yorshka?
No, that's tacky.
They get married at the Cathedral of the Deep?
No, that's where they ran away from.
That mystifying church that serves only to connect two roads, where the fire demon is.
Yeah, why not? Is it big?
There's a lot of unused real estate.
Uh-huh. Can you send me a picture?
I don't think there are any. Doesn't even have a name.
Well, Yorshka and Yhorm, they can't get married in a no-name church.
What if they got married in the Dark Moon Tomb, like when we marry Henri?
Oh my god, yes! Perfect! And it's big enough for Yhorm to fit in?
Who stabs who in the face?
What?
Because that's how you get married to Henri. You stab them in the face.
No, this is a hollow thing only. Like, they're not hollow, they're a giant and a dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be a completely different ceremony.
What would their children look like? Would they be like giants who were also part dragon?
I guess it would have to depend, because it's like 50-50, right? Okay, so their kids would either be giants with dragon features, so
Right.
they'd look like Yhorm, but would have some of their mom's features, or they'd be Yorshka's height and would have some giant features.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So they would either be like something like a tiny giant or a giant dragon, I guess. But they would look human-like, you know what I mean? Because both parents look human-like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. This isn't even the worst thing we've recorded, because there's that Boss Arenas one.
The Boss Arenas one is an unexpected insta-classic.
It's not how I remember it. I remember a lot of crying and awkwardness. The best part is I'm not joking, I don't remember a lot of that. Because it was very late at night.
Yeah, but Rich, you also recorded recently an NTC Arenas. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember any of that?
I remember it, sort of. Is that out yet?
No, I still have to edit it. It's not even edited yet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the collector's statue of Yhorm. It came with the Dark Souls 3 Prestige Edition, because he is the most prestigious character.
Well, you're joking, but which one of us got it?
No, I didn't. I got the statue of the Soul of Cinder.
Oh, was it the Soul of Cinder?
The regular collector's edition was well. This is the thing. It's called just Red Knight statue, and it's a guy in the Phalanx set with 2 scimitars. So clearly, that was designed and conceived like before Soul of Cinder was Soul of Cinder. And then the Yhorm one was like the super expensive collector's edition.
Ah. Do you think they planned for Yhorm to have a bigger role than he ended up having?
Well, it's interesting because he's called Lord of Cinder. Like, it's just called Lord of Cinder statue. So I'm wondering if he was like the Lord of Cinder at some point. Like, he wasn't called Yhorm the Giant, he was just called Lord of Cinder. And there was some, like, other version of the story.
Huh.
What collector's edition would have a Yorshka statue? The Yorshka edition? Is the Patreon partially inspired by the Dark Souls 3 collector's edition, where the more you pay, the worse thing you get?
You know, I was about to say I think that edition would be connected to our patron.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would be the highest of highest tiers. Well, we do have a tier that's called the Matryoshka tier in the honor of Yorshka. So,
Yep.
if there was a Yorshka statue, you could only get it through us, I think. It would be like super exclusive. Hmm.
How much do you regret this, like, now?
Okay, well, I was a little worried because it's like, what are we going to talk about? Like,
Yes.
Yhorm and Yorshka.
Yes.
How is it even possible?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the clock now. We have talked for an hour.
Well, but it wasn't all about Yorshka and Yhorm. It was about other things.
Oh my god, Richie, that means we have at least half an hour.
I don't think we do.
We'll have at least a half an hour podcast at the end of this.
I think we should talk for a bit more, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what you love the most about Yorshka.
I like that she's optional.
Uh-huh.
I like that...
Oh my god!
What?
Yhorm is optional too!
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's a Lord of Cinder. You have to kill him to bring his ashes back.
Oh, okay, I forgot.
Yeah.
He's so memorable, I forgot that he's not an optional character.
Yeah. Yes. I like, that... I like that she foreshadows the appearance of Filianor. Because we were like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would Gwen have a 4th child we've never heard of? Surprise. There's a 5th one. So it made her seem less confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what makes her even less confusing is that Loki has a theory he's working on and he has developed in regards to Yorshka.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's still in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Yorshka is that
You can do it. I believe in you.
mm,
Well, she's already wearing something that looks like a wedding dress.
yeah.
So,
How do you think she got up there? Like, did Sullivan take her over the invisible bridge and put her there and then leave? Or was she led up there up the lift shaft and then they destroyed the lift shaft?
yeah, because then she would know that there's an invisible path. So I think it's the lift shift.
Are you sure though? Because she doesn't seem the brightest.
Well, I don't know. No, I think they destroyed the lift shaft. Did somebody try to rebuild it?
Right.
With the... Maybe she tried to rebuild it, but it was still not, like, safe.
I don't think she tried to rebuild it. I think she just looked at it and just gave up. I don't imagine. She's like, well, I can't do this.
You know, you find a painting guardian outfit?
Oh, here's what I think happened. I think she was locked up there with her painting guardian.
Yeah.
And he was like, "M'lady, the lift shaft is broken." And she's like, "Can you not fly?" And, like, shoved him over. And he just fell to his death. And she's like, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And all the random shit in that tower is just her, she's just throwing things down there. In the hopes of creating a crude staircase. That's what the ears are for. She thinks if she gets enough ears, she'll be able to fill the tower with ears. It'll be like a ball pit. And she'll be able to safely sink to the bottom.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. So she's actually an undercover genius.
Mm.
Yeah. Like, you can't use feet or hands or heads.
Yeah, you want something that's just like cartilage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe noses as well?
Yeah.
Did she ever ask you for a nose?
No.
Okay.
She's about ears and Rosario wants tongues. No one wants noses.
Okay.
Yhorm has a nose. Remember, there was a lot of confusion when he was revealed because people thought, oh, it's a Dark Souls 2 giant. They don't have faces. It turns out, no, he does have a face. It's just in the middle of that weird helmet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look! Nick sent me his files for the podcast we recorded earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I haven't been able to. It's probably because I've been recording, like, ever since we finished.
Nick is a responsible human who won't lose files. Not that I'm talking about anyone in particular.
Don't tempt me to lose this one. Well, hang on. Here's how to beat Yhorm. A guide on Game Rant.
Okay.
It's a very complicated boss fight, as you'll remember.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. The player will want to pick up an item in the arena itself. Storm Ruler. The sword's skill does a tremendous amount of damage to Yhorm and makes the fight much easier. I think that's kind of an understatement. I think it's more like if you don't use Storm Ruler, you're completely fucked, unless you're like Lobos Jr.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then when you do use Storm Ruler, the fight's over in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, here we go. Here's what connects Yhorm and Yorshka. Because Yorshka is, like, the last child of Gwyn that we knew about at the time. She's, like, head of the Dark Moons, and she's in, like, the ruins of Anor Londo. She's been locked there. And it's, like, the end of the Gods dynasty. and like this like crumbling cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yhorm is this like enormous giant who like it's really cool because the other Lords of Cinder are just people, but he's like a giant. We haven't really had like a really cool giant character in it yet, and they tie him into the giant lord from Dark Souls 2, and they talk about how like he had to reluctantly lead a human army who despised him. So Yhorm and Yorshka are both potentially extremely interesting characters, but they're both absolute shit.
Uh-huh.
That's what connects them. That they're two extremely good ideas that are ruined.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a good one, Richie. I'm very proud
thank
of you.
Thank you. They're united in disappointment.
Yes. So we have talked for an hour, and 10 minutes exactly now.
Right.
So
hang on, I'm reading this Yhorm guide.
Oh god.
Yeah. Be patient and wait for the right moment.
Should we do a how to beat Yhorm guide video?
Well, no, we don't want to give our strats away. We need to start with how to beat Maria's chair and move on from there.
Yeah. What about a how to beat Yorshka video?
You know, I like when I was doing my Hardless Bloodborne playthrough, I didn't destroy the chair. So I actually, I did fail to destroy Maria's chair. Maybe I do need help.
Maybe you need to get good. Corvo came over. I think he loves Yhorm and Yorshka because he usually doesn't let me hold him for a long time. But he came over and he's on my lap and it's been about 5 minutes and he's purring and I think he's like, oh, Yhorm and Yorshka, my favorites. Yes, Corvo.
If the player has defeated the fire demon in an undead settlement, freed Sigvard from the Cathedral of the Deep, talked to him in Irithel's kitchen and unlocked his cell in Irithel dungeon, then Sigvard will join them. That is a really complicated quest line that accomplishes almost nothing because you end up with the same sword as him.
Yeah, because the sword is right there on the throne.
Yeah, if he'd been the only one with Stormruler, it would have been different, but it's not.
Because you were saying it, I was thinking the same thing. It would have been cool, if you don't do his quest, then Yhorm is extremely difficult. But if you do this quest, Yhorm is extremely easy. It would have added, a little something.
A reason for it to exist at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, this guide ends with, well, there we have it. How to take down this Lord of Cinder with ease. Okay, it's L2. That's the how to beat Yhorm guide. Oh, hello, Corvo.
Corvo got fed up. He's like, I'm leaving. And it was around the time where we were talking about beating Yhorm, so I think he's like, no, Yhorm's the best. And he left. Oh, I got some alcohol. It's called...
Not only now?
No, it's been here for a day. It's called Coureur des Bois, and it's maple cream. It's maple syrup cream liquor.
Okay.
I've never had it before, but apparently it's really good, and it's 15% alcohol.
Okay.
750 milliliters.
Yep.
And it has a maple leaf on the bottle. And it says on the back, Quebec's legendary Coureur des Bois explored thousands of miles to bring the finest Canadian goods to a waiting world. In this pioneering spirit, we bring you our authentic cream liquor that combines the rich complexity of pure, premium Quebec maple syrup with delicious fresh cream. Try our other Coureur des Bois products. Serve on ice, in cocktails, or in coffee! Oh, well, my mornings just got a lot better. But the thing is, I wouldn't drink it before work, right? So if I put it on coffee, it would be on the weekend. And guess what happens on the weekend?
Podcasts.
Oh, guess whose podcast just got a lot better? Let me tell him. His name starts with R and finishes with E, and his last name starts with P and finishes with am.
How much have you had already? Because it sounds like you've had quite a bit.
No, this is me sober, so you can imagine what our next podcast is going to be like. Are you hyped?
Well, is it going to be worse than this one?
I don't know. It might get better. Because we don't even have a topic for next week yet. Maybe we should use this time to come up with a topic.
Uh-huh.
So, what's a good topic, Richie?
Not this one?
Well, we're not going to have this one again. We don't want to get stale.
Okay, yeah. You have to imagine... Oh! So we have to imagine there's like a whiteboard. We've written everyone's names on it. We've just crossed out Yorshka and Yhorm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it doesn't have to be Dark Souls. It's probably going to be Bloodborne.
I have even less to say about that.
No! Okay, we had a podcast on Braidor that we recorded.
Oh god, we did! How did that work?
It was one of those unlistenable podcasts because you were talking into the wrong microphone. So we're gonna have to do Braidor again.
Oh, so we have to do Braidor again? Okay.
Yeah, so next time we record, we're gonna record about Braidor. It's a deal.
Okay.
Prepare.
I guess, alright, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so 2 minutes, 16 seconds, 2 hours, 16 minutes, 19 seconds.
I think you mean 1 hour, 16 minutes, 19
Yeah, I mean 1 hour, 16 minutes, 26 seconds.
I mean, it feels like 2 hours.
Okay, Richie, do the outro.
You paid for this. Sin made it happen. Legally, I'm not to blame. Thank you for supporting the show.
Yay.
Maybe you don't want to after this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, keep in mind that was 1.25 hours. So you could use that to figure out how much was removed when you look at how long the file is. I suspect it will be quite a lot. I'm looking at concept art of Yorshka now.
Uh-huh.
Seeing if it reveals anything new. It doesn't.
What about Yhorm?
I might actually talk to Lance about that. Well, Lance was going through stuff and he's saying, oh, there's all these references to Lord of Cinder. And I'm saying, like, well, that's just what they call all the important bosses Lords of Cinder. And he's like, no, it's almost like Lord of Cinder is being referred to as if there's only one. And then I looked at the Yhorm statue and I'm like, oh, the Yhorm statue just calls Yhorm Lord of Cinder. Like, it's just that. So I'm wondering if maybe, like, Yhorm was just a character called Lord of Cinder at one point, and this all came later.
So maybe we are going to see Yhorm again. On the podcast.
Maybe. Maybe.
Mm.
Oh, maybe.
To be continued.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's like, instead of having a line through Yhorm's name, it's a question mark. It's like the end of Kill Bill.
Yes. All right, Richie. Well, thanks so much for being such a good sport.
Thank you to everyone who donates to this.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, you guys. We really do appreciate all your support, whether it's Patreon or just nice comments, positivity, good energy, good vibes. Yeah. Bullying Richard. It's all appreciated.
It's 3:40 a.m.
Do you want to guess which episode number this will be?
69?
No, we're gonna... No.
I don't know. I thought it was going to be a funny number.
No, because we just released our episode number 30. That was
Right.
the Maria with Michaela episode.
Right.
And we have about 5 podcasts already recorded that we have to edit.
Oh, that's episode 30 of that one. It's not the 30th thing we've released.
No, it's just... what? No,
Yeah.
episode 30 of the Snack Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the 30th thing we're
Yeah, we only started Snack Covenant, like,
Yeah.
a few months ago, actually. Oh, God. It was only a few months ago.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, none of it's good, but that's still quite a... it's a pretty big turnout.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Okay, imagine if we put effort into this.
Also, Richie, you still have a podcast you need to edit.
Well, the Epitaphs one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Cool. Is it the one with Sana, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't even remember. I just have it written down that you have an episode to edit on Epitaphs.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we said, so good luck. Hope it's better than this one.
I hope it is too.
Yeah, I mean, when Sana first came on, I think we kept things on track, but second time, etc.
Yeah, I've noticed this is the thing with you, where the first time you talk to someone, you're quite respectful and deferential, and then I guess like when you're more comfortable around them, it becomes unlistenable.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you've been through the initiation, we're friends now. So it's just going to be like...
Yeah. Yeah.